Today we'll be looking at a very important critter that had spread itself all over Eorzea and beyond. Having originated from the isles of the Southern Seas, these proud little creatures are hardly understood by us, though they are oft seen walking amongst us. We interact and snack on them daily. Part animal, mostly vegetable. I'd like to introduce you guys to the Lalafells. G'day friends, today we're out on another exciting adventure in this lovely land of Eorzea. We're looking at a stout and hardy vegetable that originates from the fertile isles of the Southern Seas. It is unknown as to how exactly they arrived in Eorzea. Some researchers say that after the third umbral calamity, explorers found them and brought them over to help in the dire famines that ravaged the lands, thus spreading them quickly through Eorzea. Others claim that their spores were brought over by favourable winds around the same time, also allowing for them to quickly spread all over Eorzea. Though the current leading theory is that they arrived slightly later, following trade routes, and continue to do so today, as the Lalafell has exhibited an extreme fondness for Gil. None can really say for certain how they got here, but what we can say is that they are here to stay. It should be noted that of all of Eorzea, the only place a Lalafell seed has been unable to sprout, and therefore have little to no Lalafell existence, is the icy lands of Corphas. Though there has been some attempt to grow these incredibly useful vegetables in the Sea of Clouds, the Ishgardians have been met with little success. The Lalafell just far prefer the hot climates of Fanland, or really any temperature above freezing. Now, the Lalafell do not exhibit any complex moods, and seems to only exhibit two emotional states while interacting with the population of Eorzea. They are often quite adorable, agreeable, friendly, and make very quick friends with the actual races of Eorzea. But their other emotional state is quite the stark contrast to this, being evil, scheming, and just downright nasty. If your Lalafell is exhibiting this mood, it may be time to replace them. This is the telltale sign that the little potato is beginning to rot. Now let's look deeper into these fascinating creatures' society. Here we see one of the few established Lalafell nurseries in Eorzea. This particular one is the largest open-air nursery in all of Fanland. Now, Lalafell spuds are quite interesting, for you see, a single Lalafell spud originally has hundreds of tiny Lalafells, but those that are too weak are cannibalized by their brethren, till only one survive to attain the required rotund build all Lalafell exhibit. This single Lalafell then emerges from the ground and goes and does whatever Lalafell do before they are picked up by a race of Eorzea to be consumed. Now, Lalafell are almost always grown communally, much like this, the Great Loam Growery in Gridania, the largest Lalafell grow-up in all of Eorzea. It is estimated that the Lalafell population would grow 20 times its size when these guys reach maturity. Luckily, this grow-up is for consumption only, and therefore are harvested annually for the delicious Lalafell treats. For Lalafell make the tastiest of treats. Like here we have Lalafell and clam chowder. a Lalafell mushroom mash with lala bread lala steak sliders, another absolutely delicious and succulent Lalafell steak, and Lalafell meatballs with spaghettified Lalafell with a Lala Club sandwich. Even some of the wildlife has evolved to feast on the Lalafell. Now, for all these wonderful flavours, we must still note that there are two distinct types of Lalafells, both of which have unique characteristics and flavours attributed to them: the Plainsfolk and the Dunesfolk. The Plainsfolk, oft identified by having pupils in their eyes, these guys dominated the landscape around Limsa Lominsa. They are said to have been the majority population of the great nation of Nim, before the other races of Eorzea discovered how absolutely delicious they are, resulting in the collapse of that empire. Plainsfolk Lalafell, like the Dunesfolk Lalafell, have a distinct native language that is dominated by rhyme, rhythm and repetition. These guys sure do love their alliteration, much like in their names. Pollen dispensers, or males, follow the phoneme pattern ABCB. Each component of their name is but 1 or 2 syllables long, an example being Purpel, Nurpel. The seed carrier Lalafells, or females, follow an ABB-AB phenome pattern with a single syllable used only, such as ha-hi-hi, ha-hi. The Dunesfolk, most easily identified by their lack of pupils, are almost entirely found around Uldar, the nation they created. Some Dunesfolk wear a gemstone on the center of their forehead, signifying either a zodiac sign, or maybe it's a brand sticker like you see on bananas. It is not yet known. These Lalafell generally have a darker skin tone, a spicier flavor, and truly do love anything shiny, especially Gil. Much like their Plainsfolk brethren, the Dunesfolk also have a distinct and different naming scheme. The males follow an AAB-CCB pattern, with the first component being a single syllable and the last component being 2 syllables, such as Jojo Kujo, Momo Kujo. The females follow an AAB-AB pattern with a single syllable only, such as Nanamo, Namo. Strangely, the Dunesfolk Lalafell have created a sort of hierarchy, which has a dominant Lalafell, Nanamu Ul Namo, leading them all. It is noted that Ul in her name is actually her royal lineage. Each member of her family line shall share the center family name. Finally, let us speak on an incredibly important note of Lalafell usefulness and a little gift that they have given us. Lalafell seem to be the greatest users of thaumaturgy. Sure, most of us laugh at this, since we move past this into black mages, and even some Lalafell have been able to do so. But if it wasn't for the Lalafell bringing thaumaturgy, we would not have these absolutely hilarious scenes in the Thaumaturgy Guild. It can also be noted that, thanks to thaumaturgy, we have been gifted in many beautiful ways to roast Lalafell. And that's all we have for this episode of Eorzean Extraordinaire. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, comment. They help far more than you can believe for a tiny channel like this one. So goodbye then, friends, and have a great day.